So, folks, I'm here with Howie Hawkins, and Howie Hawkins is the front runner for the nomination of the Green Party for presidency of the United States. Well, one thing that disturbed me about Joe Biden is in his article for Foreign Affairs magazine, where he was making his case, America must lead again, why he should be president, not Trump. He really emphasized a call for what sounded like tech censorship to me. He was talking about disinformation and the need for social media companies to crack down. And that seems to have affected you personally. Your Twitter page was taken down by Twitter, wasn't it? Right. And
Yeah,
so it concerns me that kind of thing will happen if Biden gets elected. There'll be more censorship. Can you talk about what happened to you and your concerns about possibly these kind of things?
well, yeah, Twitter took down my presidential campaign Twitter account saying I was impersonating myself, which I don't even know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put it up with no more explanation than that. It was a 2-sentence letter. And they always sign off, thanks, Twitter. So I don't even quite know what happened there, but it was disturbing because for a grassroots campaign like ours, social media is kind of the level playing field. And when we're excluded, that hurts. And one of the consequences of the Democratic Party narrative around Russiagate is that they've escalated the Cold War with Russia. They're saying we need to censor the internet to get rid of disinformation. But, you know, who censors the censors? That's the problem. And I think disinformation is the problem. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, when they moved their doomsday clock, the closest it's ever been to midnight because there's no action on climate change. The nuclear arms race is out of control. And they also said cyber warfare. Publics are so confused about what's really going on, they can't formulate coherent demands to make to their governments to try to get some solution to these problems. So that's a real issue. But you don't give the state the power to say who can say what. Mm-hmm. And we've lost net neutrality. So these tech companies can put the viewpoints they favor higher up when you do the searches. That's a big problem. So we need a whole reform program around media democracy. And I think that will involve some trust busting, you know, break up these platforms, go back to the rules we used to have in this country where you couldn't cross-own radio stations, newspapers, and TV stations in the same town or own, you know, vast networks across the country. We should have more independent ownership. And I also think some of the platforms are natural monopolies. You know, everybody wants to be on the platform, everybody's on. So they tend to be monopolies. And monopolies is where is, you know, the classic case where you want public ownership. So they operate at cost for public benefit rather than for private profit. And then finally, I think we need to fund investigative journalists that are publicly funded but independent of the state. So you have boards maybe selected by sortition. New Jersey has a little experiment in that. And I think we need that because our newspapers with the social media, they're not getting advertising revenue. So they've been cutting reporters. So a lot of places don't have a local newspaper even to tell them what's going on in City Hall. So it's a huge issue. But Biden's saying, you know, what, the state is going to decide what's legitimate information? You know, Trump tries to do the same thing, you know, with his, you know, calling a lot of the media fake news. And that's a problem because then people think they can't trust anything. And that's exactly what the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists was worried about.